early, I know, but I wanted to share this before I leave to go off to my job. So I almost got screwed by the damn car dealership, and I want to tell you because I didn't know this. I'm 59, and you'd think I'd know better by now, but you know, you trust people, and you just, I want to know, has anybody else been like shammed by car fixes? I think it happens to everybody, especially I think it happens to women. I'm sure it happens to men, but I just think women honestly get taken for a ride. But so let me tell you what happened. So my car is a 2012. So, you know, you wanted a dependable car, right? You don't want your car to like not start when you're like on your way to go somewhere. So I got back from my trip to LA, and my car was dead. So like, and it was a red eye. So 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to the garage. It's 28 degrees. And I'm like, thank gosh it was in a garage, but it was in an open garage. So it was pretty cold. It wasn't a closed garage. But anyway, so fortunately, super lucky, the universe had my back. There was these people, I had a pretty good parking spot, and some people wanted my spot, and they happened to have kind of a, it didn't require being plugged in. It didn't require attaching your car to another car's battery. It was this booster battery thing, and they had it, and after about 5 tries, we got it started. And I love them and so thankful for them, because they were on their way to California, where I just come from. And fortunately, they had enough time. They weren't in a rush like most of us. So it's like, I was so fortunate. Anyway, so my light in my car went on. It was like the battery light. And I'm like, ugh, I thought I'd changed my battery like a year ago. So of course, what do? You take it into the dealership and get them to find out what's wrong. And then I come in after they, you know, thinking to pick it up. And that's another story. He called the wrong number and left a voicemail message, and so I didn't get that. So anyways, they say, oh, by the way, it's an alternator. Do you know how much an alternator costs? I mean, alternator is like the generator for a car. So if you think about a generator for your house and how much those are, between that and, oh yes, the fluid needs to be changed, and oh yes, the battery has been damaged because the alternator has been pulling from it. Well, fortunately I had a warranty on my battery. So $1,700. $1,700. Like, first of all, who wants to spend money on their car? I could go on a trip for $1,700. And secondly, I think, like, how many people does that like break? Fortunately, I can pay the $1,700. I mean, it's not my choice, and it's not something that like I want to do, but if I have to do it, it's not going to kill me. So then, of course, then they put the paperwork in front of you, and you're like, okay, I guess I don't have any other choice, right? I got to get my car fixed. So sign here. The part's going to be in on Wednesday. This was Monday. Okay, so I sign. And then I get the, oh, and then the other thing is they wanted to give me a rent-a-car and charge me. So it's like, I have to pay for a rental car while you're making $1,700 off me? No, I don't think so. And so then, so I was waiting for the guy to give me a ride home, and then he comes in, the service writer comes in, and he says, oh, I was able to find a car for you, a loaner. You could take this loaner. And I was like, no, I don't think I want to. I have till Wednesday, and I'm going to go like see what I'm just not sure. I don't want to be that committed, and I have an extra car, fortunately. So anyways, so I come home and I tell my husband, and he's like, oh, what? That's ridiculous. We're going to call this other guy who does like car inspections for us, and he's done other work. So he comes back and he can do it for $700. Okay, that's like $1,000 less. And I'm like, okay. So I'm going to call the dealership in the morning, and I'm going to tell them, don't do any more work. I'm going to come get my car. Well, don't do any work, because it was the day before they said they were going to do the work. So I call, and they are like, oh, we already started the work on your car. And I'm like, you signed off on it. And I'm like, oh shit, I signed that paper. And that meant okay. And so then then I'm like, well, stop what you're doing. I'm not going to pay any more money. I said, I can get a better deal. I don't want to have to pay $1,700. And he's like, so what the work they were doing was changing fluids, because that was something they could get started on. And then I was committed, right? Sneaky. And even though the alternator wasn't coming in until the next day. So then he says, well, let me see what I can do for you. I thought it was $1,700. You mean this is negotiable? This is negotiable. So car parts and car service is negotiable, ladies. Yes. Ding. Oh my gosh. So they wanted to price match. You know how when you see something on Amazon and you go to Best Buy and you can get it at the same price? I guess that applies to service on your car. And so anyways, without going into nitty-gritty detail on all the ins and outs of pricing, I'm basically getting my car for $1,000. So I saved $700. I saved almost double of what it was going to cost me. And I'm getting a free battery because I had a battery. The guy that was going to do the job for $700 wasn't going to give me a free battery because the dealership who's warranting the battery that they put in last year. So he dropped the price. The transmission fluid, I Googled how much that was because the guy was going to do alternator work, but we didn't get pricing for fluid stuff. And so I thought, I'm not going to go back to him and say, what will you price? Because that was just kind of using him to not use him, and I didn't want to do that. So I thought, I'm just going to Google it. So I Googled how much transmission fluid change. They want to do a flush. There's a difference between what a flush is more, whatever. So education. And then brake fluid change. So I Googled that, and I got what the average cost is. And so I called them back and I said, this is what it's worth. You know, this is what I can pay for this to get it done elsewhere. So they came down in price. They came down, I think he came down $100 on the transmission fluid. It was like $295 or something for transmission. And he came down to $200. And then the brake fluid, I think, was they're charging me $150, and I got that down to $100. So it's like, I mean, friggin' everything is negotiable. It's not just like things. It's like, I mean, I guess a battery and an alternator are things, but like that, and what dawned on me, and I kind of knew this in the back of my mind, is that car dealerships make their money off of the service department. There is a low margin off of car sales. So where they really make their money is the service department. And there's a lot of margin on what they do in the service department. You know, a lot of it's labor rates. And of course, labor rates are, you know, you can adjust those. So anyways, I just had to get on and share this because I want you as a consumer to be educated and to, when you feel that, you know, even if you don't feel it's too much, even if you're getting a price, question it. Say, I can get it better. Price compare. Google it. And then you'll save yourself some money. Like $700? Look, I'm saving $700. Like, what can I spend $7 on? Yeah, some nice spring clothes. So I can get a few things, right? But I can't think that way. It's going to go into savings, right? So the money I saved. Anyways, so I hope this has helped. And please share this video with your other women friends. Let's educate each other. And let's not put up with this bullshit of getting overcharged for stuff. It's like, I feel like when he gave me that form to fill out, that he was feeling bad. I got this vibe from him. Now that I think back, he was like, sign this. And then I did, and he was like, yes! I just made a bunch of money, and they probably also work on some sort of commission in that service department as well. Just like the salespeople, they're salespeople, but they're salespeople for service and not salespeople for cars. So, all right. So, moral of the story, stand up for yourself and be a smart consumer. Okay? Love ya.